Are you here because you want to create a website that is beautiful, that is extremely fast with load times of less than a second, which has multiple functionalities built into it, which not only works beautifully on your laptop but also looks equally good on your mobile and your tablet, and you do not want to touch even a single line of code for doing so? And on the top of that, you want to do all this in under 10 minutes. Well, you're just at the right place. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Hello and welcome to the Binary IQ. If you're visiting this channel for the first time, do consider subscribing and also hitting that notification bell so that you don't miss our upcoming videos. Also, by the end of this video, if you learn something from it, do not forget to hit that like button. So with that out of the way, let's get going. Before we move on to the hows of creating a website, let us understand the why of it. So why should we make a website in the first place, or why should you make a website in the first place? So there are three primary reasons which I feel are required if you want to create a website. The first and the foremost of it is creating a brand. So if you want to create a brand or you're managing a brand, that is where the need of a website comes into picture. So if you have a brick and mortar business which you want to keep online, or you want to have an online presence for it so that you can build authority, or otherwise you can create a contact page or a booking page so that people can come to you from the internet. Being in the age of internet, having a presence online gives you not only authority but also respect and confidence. The second reason for having a website is that you have a product to sell. So we are living in a world of Amazon where everything is being delivered right to your home. So if you have some service like that, some product like that, which you can sell online, that is where a website comes into picture. So you can create an e-commerce store which people can access to purchase your products directly through their cell phone, through their laptops, through your tablets. Thirdly, you want to create a website, or you want to learn the process of creating a website so that you can build it for others and charge money from them. Now, this is where most of us start. So we learn creating websites, we create it for others, earn some money, get some authority, and then move on to the other aspects of creating a brand as well as creating our own products for that. So with that out of the way, let us understand what we need to build a website. So there are three important things which we need in order to build a website. The first one is a domain name. Now, a domain name is nothing but a web address. It's the location on the internet where people are going to find you. So it will look something like www.google.com, or something like www.facebook.com, or www.anydomain.com. So this is your online link, online presence, online address which people will use to locate you on the internet. The second important thing to having your own website is having a hosting service. A hosting service is a space, or it's a location where your files are stored. So these files would include everything which you have put on your website or which you want to put on the website, which will include your images, your text, your data, and anything else you want to put on your website. So imagine a scenario where you have different users accessing or trying to access your website from a laptop, a desktop, or a tablet. So they want to go to your domain. Now, being at different places and not being connected by a common resource makes it a bit difficult to access whatever you are producing. So this is where a hosting service comes into picture. So a hosting service is a common platform, or it's a central data storage service which gives a place where all these sources can link to. So ultimately, every user would be linking to this central database, this hosting service provider, which is having your files. And this is how a hosting service works. Lastly, to have a website, you must have a website builder software. Now, the primary question is, do you need one? Do you need a software to build a website? Well, the answer is no, exactly. Not if you want to code everything yourself. So you want to write the entire code of this website yourself. Of course, you don't need a software for that. But should you have one? And in my opinion, yes, definitely, because it makes repeatable tasks or tasks which have already been solved by someone else much easier. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. If someone else has solved a problem, someone else has already created a code for it, you can utilize that code using any website builder software. In our case, we'll be using a website builder software which is called WordPress. This software has a market share of greater than 1/3 of the websites in the entire world. WordPress has limitless possibilities, so it's as good for a new user as it is for a complete tech savvy person. It is extremely easy to use, so it's very much beginner friendly. It is highly secure and it has a wonderful community of developers. So in WordPress, every code which has already been created is called a plugin. Having a share of more than 1/3 of the websites in the entire world, almost every problem you can imagine has already been solved and it has been put up as a plugin which you can utilize directly. And most of these plugins are free and will help you through your website building process. Now let's quickly address the elephant in the room, which is how much is this all going to cost you, or is this going to cost you at all? So does building a website cost you? Well, the answer is yes. However, if you are someone who wants everything for free, I have a little bad news for you. If you want a free website, as you keep seeing on the internet, that you can create a free website, what they're not telling you is that you are missing out on a few key components. The first of which is you do not have a unique domain name. As I talked about, having a domain name like www.google.com is having a unique domain name. Instead, you get something of a subdomain. Now, I have talked about what a subdomain is in my other video. You can check that out. In simple language, a subdomain is your name placed over someone else's brand. For example, if I had wanted my unique name, I would have gone for www.thebinaryiq. If I went for a free website, I would have got www.thebinaryiq.someone else's brand name.com. So ultimately, I would have been getting a subdomain of someone else's brand. If you're happy with that, if you don't want your unique name, well, it's good enough. But if you are serious about building websites, building a brand, building an e-commerce store, building websites for someone else, you have to have a unique domain name. So the free option is out of the way. The second disadvantage is that you don't get a fast website because primarily your website is hosted and controlled by some other brand. So you don't have control over the speed unless that particular service provider is giving you increased speed at a premium. So at the end of the day, to get speed controls, you have to go premium and spend some money. Again, no respite for you. Thirdly, if you want a free website, you are not going to get full functionality. You are not going to get a diverse featured website. So finally, how much does it all cost? Well, let's break down the cost. As we talked about, we have three aspects to getting a website. The first of which was a domain name. So for a domain name, you'll typically have to spend from $8 to $12 per year. Yes, that is per year. So for the entire year, you have to spend around $10 to $12 for getting your domain name, a unique domain name. That comes out to be around 2 to 4 coffees per year. So if you're willing to sacrifice 2 to 4 coffees for the entire year, you can have your unique domain name. The second cost is the hosting service. Now this would typically cost you from $3 to $10 per month. The starting prices start from 3 and move up as per your requirements. So initially, when you are building just a single website, you can go for that plan, which is as low as $3, and you can move your way up once you start creating websites for others, or you have a large inflow of users. Thereby you need a greater bandwidth on your website. In that case, the prices move up slightly. Now equating it to the real life, you'll have to sacrifice one dinner per month, which I think is not a huge amount once you're considering making money out of creating websites. Typically, once you start creating websites, you'll start earning to the tune of a few grands per website if you're creating a fully functional website for someone else or for some company. The third aspect of having a website was the website builder software itself. In our case, we are using WordPress, which is completely free of cost. However, for added functionality, you'll have to pay a fee for some of the premium plugins and themes. However, in the beginning, you don't require that. So it's as good as free. So enough theory, let's start building a website. I've divided this entire process into 6 simple steps, and the links to everything that I talk about will be in the description below. So instead of squinting your eyes on the screen for reading out the links, you can directly go to the description down at the bottom of this video and hit the links from there. Every link has been placed in a chronological order, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's move on to step number 1 of our 6-step process. The first step is purchasing the domain. Now, I recommend 2 websites for doing it. I'll take you to their sites one by one. So the first website is namecheap.com and the second is godaddy.com. All you need to do in both of these cases is find your domain name, whichever you want, and purchase it. Now, if you don't know what a domain name is, or you want to get a better idea of as to how you need to find a domain name, I have made an entire video on that. You can check that out. There are various tips and tricks and different tools using which you can select your best domain name. So all you need to do here is find your domain name, go through the checkout process, and you're done. So all you need to do is search. In my case, I'm just searching for a website since I have the .com of my thebinaryiq.com. So I'll be just searching for the .net. Once you find that it's available, all you need to do is add to the cart, go through the checkout process. The same process goes for GoDaddy. So again, out here you can find you can search for your domain name, go through the checkout process, and you're done with it. So that's your step number 1, purchasing the domain name. Let's move on to our step number 2, which is purchasing hosting. Again, there are 2 websites I recommend. I'll take you to their websites one by one. The first is InMotion Hosting. All you need to do is go to their plans. Don't go with these WordPress hosting plans. Go to this option where it says See Plans. They have various plans depending upon the number of websites you want. So they have a plan for having 2 websites, for 6, and unlimited websites. Now I would recommend always going with their top seller plan because that is the best buck for money. Also, InMotion Hosting gives you 1 free domain. So you don't have to purchase a domain name, which I showed you in the earlier step. However, in my honest opinion, it's better to have a domain name separate because ultimately you'll be saving just around 10 to 12 bucks for 1 year. Now this free domain is not for the entire lifetime, it's just for 1 year. So instead of saving that 10 bucks here, it's better to keep your domain on a separate websites so that in future if you move your hosting to somewhere else, it's much easier. Also, the first year, although is free, from the second year, the hosting providers generally charge you much more money than what a namecheap.com or a godaddy.com would have charged. So in the long run, you would ultimately save money by purchasing the domain name from the earlier websites I showed you. So these are the 3 plans. All you need to do again is order them, go through the checkout process. This was one of the websites which I recommend. The second is bluehost.com. Out here too, all you need to do is go to their hosting. See shared hosting. Do not go with VPS and dedicated because you're just starting out. When you're starting out, just go with their shared hosting plans. Again, they have various plans depending upon the number of websites, amount of usage. And yet again, I would recommend their recommended plan. So in this, they have a Choice Plus plan, which has unlimited websites. And here too, you get a free domain for the first year. And yet again, you have a free SSL. So I'll talk about SSL probably in some other video. But these are the things you get, and it's better to again go with their recommended plans. So all you need to do is select whatever plan you want, go through the checkout process, and you're done with it. So this was the second step. Now the third step is linking your domain to your hosting. So as I recommend, you should have your domain from a separate website like Namecheap and GoDaddy, and your hosting from a separate website like InMotion or Bluehost. Now the main concern which usually comes is linking your domain to your hosting because they are parked at different websites. Now I have again created an entire video regarding this topic exactly. You can go and check that out. So I'm not going into that entire process again. All you need to do is go through that process, which just primarily involves changing the name servers in the DNS settings. So I do not want to get too technical here. You can go and check that video out. Again, the video link will be in the description as well as a card would be appearing somewhere right now. Let's move on to step number 4, which is installing the website builder software. Now in our case, we are using WordPress. So let me show you their website first. So this is WordPress.org. Remember, it's not a .com, it's an .org. It's a free website builder software and it has a huge community. So you can go through their website and find more about them. However, we are just going to install it directly. In order to install it, you have to go inside your hosting service provider. In my case, I'm using InMotion Hosting, so I'll show you their way of doing it, and it's almost similar across all good hosting providers, especially in bluehost.com. So I'll just click on login. Once I'm inside my account management panel or the backend of my hosting provider, all I need to do is find where it says cPanel. Now this cPanel again, or the control panel, is a common feature in almost every good hosting service provider. So just click on cPanel. Inside cPanel, all you need to do is go to where it says WordPress. So all you need to do is click on WordPress, find where it says install now, click on install now, select the latest version of WordPress. In the choose protocol, select HTTPS. In the domain, select whichever domain you have. So in my case, I'll select thebinaryiq.com. indirectly leave it blank. In the site name, you can change your site name. So I'll just change the site name here to the Binary IQ. I'm not changing the site description because I'll show you how to change it in the backend. Enter your username and password. In the language, select the language you want. In the plugins, uncheck everything. I'll be showing you which plugins to install. And finally, click on the install. Now it will take a few minutes to install, so you'll have to wait. Once the installation is done, you'll get this message that congratulations, the software was installed successfully. And this was your fourth step. So you have installed WordPress on your website. In order to see if it's working, you can go to your website now. You can directly go to thebinaryiq.com. I'll open it in a new tab. And as you see, my default website is installed. Now it is looking very plain and dry. So we'll do something about it in our next step. The fifth step involves installing one plugin. Now you could go through the process of installing themes and plugins and everything separately and starting from ground up. However, I again would recommend starting with a template. Now I will be using the templates and the theme from a company called Astra. So I'll take you to their website. Now this is the one I recommend because it has a great theme and it has great features. You can start off with their free plans and move ahead if you want. So this plugin is of course free of cost. All you need to do is install this. But before installing, I'll take you to their website quickly to show you what we are going to do in our next two steps. So this is the Astra website. As you can see, it is one of the fastest growing theme of all time. Right now it has around 700,000 users. It has many pre-built website and almost you have to use no code. And it is the most important feature of this is that it is made for page builders. So in the next step, I'll tell you what a page builder is. Ultimately, this is the theme I recommend and many of their plugins which I'll be recommending in my future videos. The link to their website again would be in the description. If you're a serious contender in this website creation market, you can check out their paid plans as well. So I'll quickly take you to their pricing. Now I am a agency bundle user, a lifetime user. I have all the features. However, when you're starting, you can of course start off with their free plan. This is just for so that you can check out their paid plans as well. Now I highly recommend their service. The second plugin which we'll be using is called a page builder plugin. So instead of going through the process of creating websites on the back end, we'll be creating websites in the front end, which is right where the website is. So just as an example, you can directly communicate with the website right on the website page itself. Traditionally, you have to go in the back end, create the website, see the changes in the front end. Here you can see your changes live. And this is where a page builder plugin comes into picture. Now I'll be recommending Elementor, which is a very powerful page builder. It has a huge number of features. Even in their free plan, they have an extraordinary number of features. Again, if you're a serious contender and you're planning to move ahead, you can go to their pricing and check out their pro plans. These are some of the features they provide. Now, some of these, as you can see, are pro features, but they have a huge number of features. Everything you can possibly think of would be available in Elementor. So it makes your designing aspect so easy that you cannot fail at it. So now with that out of the way, let's do our step number 5, which is installing this Astra starter template. For that, we have to move to the backend of our website. Now backend is where the actual settings are. So to access that settings, either you can go to this administrative URL right in on your congratulations page, or you can simply type in your domain followed by WP admin. So I'll just right click on it, click on open link in a new tab, and just like that, we are on the back end of your website. Now this is not how your website looks. Of course, you can go to this Binary IQ, click on visit website, and this is how your website looks on the front end. So as per our first step, we have to install a plugin. To install a plugin, move down and you'll find a plugins option. All you need to do is click on add new, go to where it says search. We'll search for Astra starter, and the first option which appears is usually the one. You have to just check that it's by Brainstorm Force. That's the company. So I'll just click on install now. Once it's installed, there is an option to activate. I'll just click on activate. Once you click on activate, it will take you to their plugins page. Now here are 2 additional plugins which come pre-installed. You don't have to worry about that. What we are going to see is this starter template plugin we just installed. Now we have to go to this option where it says C library. So I'll just click on it. Now this is a small onboarding process. It says select a page builder. As I talked about, we'll be using Elementor and not these three because of its rich features, even in the free ones. So I'll just click on Elementor. And now you are inside a page which shows you all the templates which are built with Elementor. Now some of these have agency written over it, which comes with the premium plans. So instead of selecting all, you can go with their free templates, and you'll find that Astra provides you some of the most beautiful templates even for free. So you can select whichever you want. So let's find an e-commerce template. So I'll just select on this drop down again, go to where it says e-commerce. Let's select this brand store. I'll just click on it. Before importing the site, you can check out what this template includes. So this template includes 3 pages. One is the home page, one is the about page, and one is the contact page. In order to preview this, you can hit this button where it says preview brand store site. So I'll just click on it. You can check out their website, or the template rather. I think it looks good. You can check out one of their product pages as well. And the product page looks great out of the box. So if you are going for a e-commerce store, instead of starting off blank and moving ahead, you can use this template and just change the images, change the pricing, change the names, and you're good to go. So I'll just get out of this, go back, and I'll click on import the complete site. If you just want to import one of the pages, you can just click on that page and import that page. In our case, we'll be importing the entire site. So I'll just click on import complete site. I'll take a few minutes to import, but first you'll get an option. So here is an option as to what all you have to install. A WordPress website includes 2 primary things. One is the theme itself and the other is the plugins. So it is showing you the option of installing the Astra theme. I'm good with that, and installing required plugins. So I'll just click on import, let their content be. It will take a few minutes to install. Once everything is imported, you'll get this message that imported successfully. You can simply go ahead and visit your site. I'll just cancel out of it. So this was my website before the installation of this template. I'll just hit on refresh, and now my website looks something like this. Now there is a black bar up ahead. These are just WordPress backend options. Right now you are logged in, and hence you're seeing these options. This is what you're seeing right now. So now you're done with the 5th step, that is installing the starter template and an associated template which you want. So you've imported the template and you're good to go. Let's move on to the 6th and final step, which is editing the website. This is not going to be an in-depth tutorial about editing a website. This is just an overview so that you can start right away. So you have to remember one thing when you are editing as to where those edit options lie. Now as I said, there are 2 aspects to a website in WordPress. One is the theme aspect and one is the plugin aspect. So every setting, everything which you see on your website would either be affected by the settings inside your theme or settings inside a specific plugin. For example, in this case, this header, which has a menu bar and everything, is probably built by the theme settings. In order to access theme settings, you can go to where it says customize. I'll just click on it. So now I'm inside the customizer options of my theme. As you can see, my active theme is Astra, and these are all the settings which are included in this. And to be very frank, they are too generous to give so many things for free. If you want to check out their pro plan, again, I have the links in the description. You can go and check it. Now, every option that can be changed inside the theme options would have this small blue edit icon next to it. If I'll move my arrow down, you'll see that edit option appear. All you need to do is just click on this option and it will take you directly to the respective setting. So as you can see, there are settings for changing the logo. So I'll just change the logo. Let me just remove it, and you see the logo disappears. I can change the logo. I can select any image. So I'll just select image. So this is my media library, which already includes the uploaded ones. So let me just quickly change it to any of these icons here. I'll just change it to this lock icon. I'll choose the image and you'll see the lock icon appear. Now you can change the height, width and everything from down here. So it's as easy as it gets. Now there are various options to explore, and you can do that on your own. Similarly, if you want to change, suppose this menu, all you have to do is click on this edit this element icon, and it will take you directly to that option inside the customizer. So you can change it. So this is the way you change it in the theme settings. I'll just cancel out of it. I'll refuse the changes. So this is how you edit the settings inside the theme. Now, the second aspect as to changing anything else which is not affected by the theme would be affected by something which is called a plugin in WordPress. For example, this entire page has been created using a page builder plugin, which we talked about, which is called Elementor. In order to edit this page, all you need to do is click on this option where it says edit with Elementor. Just click on it. This will directly take you inside the Elementor editor. So there are various options. Now again, some of them would have a lock over it. These are the pro options. But just like Astra, I'm strangely surprised by how many features they give for free. Links to everything, again, as I talk about, will be in the description. So page builder software basically lets you change your design, your text, everything on the front end itself. So right now you can change everything from right on the page itself. So I can change this heading right here. I can change the colors. I can change it to bold. I can change it to anything I want. I can delete anything out of it and you'll see the changes right away. Now there are some options which are buttons. So for every element which I click, you'll find the relevant options appear on the left side and you can change these options. If you move down, you have different options. You have some shortcodes, some normal text, some buttons, some images, some backgrounds, some icons, and so on and so forth. So all you need to do is change these options wherever it's relevant for you. So once you have some final picture in mind, it's not too difficult to change your website to look exactly how you want it. And themes like Astra and plugins like Elementor make it so damn easy. So this was the sixth step. You have to remember one thing, as I said, as to where the editing options lie. Once you figure that out, it's too easy. So these are the 6 steps. Finally, let's recap quickly. So our website requires 3 basic things: a domain, a hosting service, and a website builder software. In our case, we're using WordPress. And we have taken you through the 6-step process. That is, firstly, we purchase the domain, we purchase hosting, we link that domain to the hosting, we installed WordPress by going inside a cPanel. We installed this starter templates plugin, which in turn installed every theme and plugin without going through the pain of doing that. And finally, you can edit the website by choosing the relevant editing options or the customizer options. So there you have it, a simple step-by-step process as to how to create a website. Although this was a lengthy tutorial, I hope it made sense to you. Links to everything that I have talked about in these 6 steps are in the description. There are various videos which I have already created which will help you out with some of these processes, like what is a domain, what is a subdomain, how to link your domain to hosting, and so on. Finally, if you want to give some feedback, do write in the comments. Do tell me about what you want to see next. If you're not already subscribed, do hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. And finally, if you learned something out of it or like this video, do hit that like button. It really helps with the motivation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.